my name is Skyly, and today I'll be giving a speech on the history of horses. So, horse enthusiasts all around the world have always questioned, where did horses come from and what were they used for? It's a big difference from what we use them for today. Horses have been used for centuries for many different reasons, from meat and milk to transportation, to mail delivery to cattle drives to war horses. Horses have always been important for people's everyday lives. Today, they are still being used for work, but also recreational reasons such as showing, as well as roaming the open plains in many countries, including America. Horses were first thought to be domesticated in Asia from around 3000 BC to 4000 BC. At this time, horses were being used for meat and milk. They joined oxen as a form of transportation soon after. The first known site where horses were considered pets was in a village in Kazakhstan. I say pets like this because they were being used mostly as a workforce. It's not like they were just like a dog or a cat hanging around a pet. From cave paintings and DNA samples, it looks like horses were being harnessed and used for milk at this time. It was also at this time that horses were being bred specifically for future domestication. Scientists that have done studies on scientific bone remains concur that horses were being chosen strategically for domestication because they are slightly different from original wild horses. And then, this is an example of what the bone remains that are having tests being done on them. With the bone remains, they can tell the age of the animal at death, the gender, and things like the height and size of the animal. That's how they knew they were different from the original wild horses. Horses were first brought to America as early as Columbus's second trip here, when he brought along Spanish-bred horses. Horses are thought to be non-native to the USA, so the wild horses that we now have are actually feral, meaning that they were once domesticated and are probably descendants of horses that were brought over with Columbus. And so the original native horses to Mexico have disappeared, and we don't actually have the same breeds that we once did in America. The horses that were brought here were used for packing and travel. This came in handy as Europeans started hunting. They were able to get places faster and able to pack animals out. Horses were also used in many battles. Everyone knows the story of Paul Revere. This is a solid example of how horses have impacted the history, because without them, messages could not have been delivered as fast or the amount of time that they were. Today, the number of feral horses that roam freely in the wild is growing tremendously. There are so many that they're beginning to take over farm and ranch land. The Bureau of Land Management, or BLM, protects wild horses, but they're also working to manage the population growth. So they're using tactics like sterilization in horses because they just don't have enough room for all of the mustangs that are around. And so this is an example of the horses that are kept in the pens, and this one is horses that are actually out in the land, and they can run into groups of about 50 or more, and they're constantly growing, so they're becoming overwhelming. Horses have been used for centuries for many different reasons. They continue to be used all around the world for showing and recreation, as well as work. There are constantly different theories being drawn up about when and where horses were first found and what they were used for. Scientists continue to do studies on bone remains, trying to find the answers. Horses have overall played a huge role in history and continue to do so today. So this is an example of how horses have been used in the past and today to help people in their daily lives doing work. This is a cattle drive recently done, and this is a horse that was pulling things for the fields and everything. And my works cited page, livescience.com, history.com, and bellray.edu. Thank you for your time.